Hello, you wonderful people. So for today's video, if you're unaware, it was recently announced that Prodigal Son is coming back for a second season. So I decided I want to take a video to kind of share some thoughts and theories about, what we could potentially see in the second season of Prodigal Son. Do note that this is going to involve me talking about spoilers of season 1, 2. If you have not seen the entirety of season 1, do not watch this video. A lot of this also is going to be some stuff that I kind of brought up during my season finale review, as well as some, conversations I bounced back and forth between people in the comments. So first and foremost, let's talk about the fact that there was a little bit of a teaser trailer that came out for the the announcement that there was a season 2 of Prodigal Son. If you haven't seen it already, I'll include a link to it in the description down below. It's a very short video, but it's really interesting because the entire focus of it is Ainsley, and I think that's such an interesting thing because I think that sets up that basically the entire first season was Malcolm figuring out all his stuff, all the trauma created from the whole situation with his dad, and everything with, the girl in the box. So obviously we later found out, obviously, Eve's sister, like all that stuff, like him kind of unpackaging and dealing with all that. And it seems like season 2's main focus is going to be on packaging everything with Ainsley, because I think it's so interesting because obviously, and I've talked about this too, I was under the impression, if anyone, I thought maybe when it was all said and done, sadly, that Malcolm was going to go down the route of his dad and become a killer. I was kind of so certain. So when Ainsley is getting revealed that Ainsley can go down that route, that completely shocked me. I didn't expect it. I thought that was so interesting because even Malcolm himself was so worried that he'd end up like his dad. No one saw it coming that Ainsley was going to become like him. And it's so interesting because even Nicholas, and I talked about this in the comments, Nicholas says this line of, "You're just," because Malcolm couldn't pull the trigger on him, so he's like, "You're just like your mom." And it's that's so interesting because everyone thought Malcolm would be so much like his dad, but I think even Martin even thought that, but maybe that's not the case. I don't know, because Malcolm is a lot like Jessica, and it turns out Ainsley's a lot like Martin. And it's the whole thing of the, daddy's little girl type of situation. So maybe that's kind of like the parallel that they're going. There's also something interesting that someone had brought to my attention in the comments. So I don't want to take credit for this idea, but I thought it was so interesting. They were suggesting, what if Malcolm isn't able to properly, profile Ainsley? Because as we've seen, he's able to profile any killer, even his own dad, from, obviously he takes his own personal experience into it, but obviously he's able to objectively see his father for who and what he is, the monster that he is, but he never saw the signs with Ainsley. So I think that's such an interesting thing because he's so good at profiling everyone else. What if Ainsley ends up being the one blind spot he has, that he's not able to kind of see her for what she is? Because it's so interesting because like I brought up before, Malcolm's stuff has always kind of been out in the open. Ainsley's the one that's it seemed like at the very least amongst them, she seemed like she was the most well-adjusted, to be fair. There was stuff hinting throughout the season, the fact is that she would rather edit the video about that whole thing that went down in her dad's cell, her boyfriend getting stabbed and stuff like that. Even him being like, "Wait, what? You're so focused on that, you're not really here to see me." It shows that she kind of put work before her relationship. Even the fact is that Malcolm spent so much of his life trying to get away from his father, their mother trying to keep him away. I mean, obviously she's trying to keep Ainsley away as well, but the fact is that Ainsley's went out of her way to search for her father because that was a piece of her life she felt was missing, because she's she wanted, it seemed like she was so willing to see the good in her dad when Jessica and Malcolm are willing to just see the evil, and I think that's such an interesting element. Obviously, another big thing to talk about is the whole Nicholas situation. He's super dead now, and Ainsley's the one that killed him, and obviously this being a big secret between Malcolm and Ainsley, because now obviously not even their mother knows. This means obviously hiding this from everyone that from Gil, JT, as well as Danny, which is going to be complicated considering the fact is obviously Malcolm and Danny have gotten closer over the course of the season. They're just friends, but you definitely tell that potentially could go somewhere else. But him kind of leading them off the trail, because most likely they're going to have to dispose of Nicholas's body, which is going to be interesting because they're probably going to have to work together to do that. And it's going to be a thing of it's because Malcolm's going to do whatever it takes to protect his sister. He cares about her, obviously. And so it's a situation of they're going to have this deep, dark secret. And the fact is, it's going to be eating them up. Obviously, a lot of stuff ate Malcolm up over the course of season 1. Obviously, like the whole thing flashing back in his head about, you know, Eve's sister and everything. So I can only imagine what kind of, especially because it might start messing with his head, because maybe it's going to be the thing of, maybe I was wrong. Maybe he can profile his sister, but he doesn't want to. So he starts seeing like his sister. He's like, no, 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 she's not like that. She's not the monster her dad is. I know it. But maybe over the course of the season, he's constantly worried. Like he sees little by little, who she was starts fading away, and she becomes more and more like Martin. It's actually something I had suggested was kind of like, maybe Martin did something to her when they went to visit him in the season finale. That I thought maybe he put her in a bit of a trance. That was kind of my suggestion. Or maybe Ainsley did it herself. Some people were hitting me up like, no, they 100% don't think it was a trance. They just think that it was Ainsley herself, like whatever is inside of her finally coming out. You know, the parts of her that are very much like Martin. It makes you wonder, will Jessica ever find out? Because if she does, that'll add an extra layer of complications, because, you know, obviously her and Gil, you know, so that'll turn into a bit of a nasty situation. Because the sad thing is, no one ever will know what kind of monster Nicholas was. Because the fact of the matter is, there's literally no evidence to prove it. Well, now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, I'm saying all this, actually, there is another person that knows. They told Martin, hence why he was like, oh, my sweet little girl or something, you know? So something I had wondered too would be that, would season 2 end up being a situation, a bit of a brother versus sister type of situation? Like obviously like Martin trying to mold Ainsley more and more as he tries to help them out in this situation. Maybe Malcolm tries to distance her, keep her away, but she constantly comes to visit her dad and kind of has questions about what's inside of her, and that maybe he's literally the only person that can understand her, because it's like, Malcolm judges me, and if mom found out, she would look at me differently, but at least Martin appreciates her with open arms. It does make you wonder, if it does come down to it, would Malcolm take the fall for his sister? It could be a situation where we see her like kind of become, like I said, go further down the route of becoming like Martin. Ends up becoming very manipulative, knowing that she could use Malcolm. I don't know. I get the feeling we'll definitely see a lot of behavior changes when it comes to Ainsley next season. Like I said, because of that preview and everything, you know, with the season announcement, it makes me think we're going to dive deeper into like, well, we focus on all the stuff that Malcolm was dealing with growing up. Maybe we'll see the darker sides of Ainsley that maybe no one else picked up on, because they were so focused on Malcolm. And maybe because of that, that allowed the darkness inside of Ainsley to fester and grow as well. You know, it's some interesting thoughts on that. Either way, I'm very, very excited I'm so glad the show got a second season. I'm so excited to ultimately see like what the hell ends up going down. Obviously, all of this is just my thoughts and theories. I'd love to get to know yours in the comments down below. Really, that's all I'm going to talk about. Till the next time we meet, be happy, be safe, live life to the fullest, and enjoy it. Good day and goodbye.